And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Camp Roskilde is a board game that was given out to the people who went to this festival. And as far as I can tell from Googling it, you can Google it yourself and look at the pictures and stuff, this looks like a, almost like a Woodstock type festival. That's in Denmark. So Camp Roskilde, and they gave this game out to everybody, and they sent me one to review, and I suppose you could find one online. Probably all the people at the festival, they're getting rid of them. But let's take a look at the game and see what it's like, and maybe you're interested in it or not. In Camp Roskilde, each player gets one of these boards, which basically just forms a 9x9 grid that's in front of you. I mean, I guess you technically don't need the board. And then the gameplay is very simple. You're going to have a bunch of these tiles, a ton of these tiles that you're going to have, and there's going to be several of them placed in the middle of the board, in the middle of the table, I mean. And on your turn, you're simply going to take one of these tiles and place it somewhere in your camp or place it in someone else's camp. When you place a tile in your camp, you can place the first one anywhere you want, or in anyone's camp for that matter. But after that, you need to watch how the sides match. You'll see there are little symbols on the sides. We have kisses, we have music, and we have beer. And so you need to match the sides, and all the sides, or it doesn't fit in. And it doesn't matter what the orientation is. Each tile is one of different colors. There's 4 main colors in the game, and that's green, blue, black, and red. And then there's what we call colorless tiles, even though they're gray. So anyhow, when you put these tiles in, many of them are worth points. 2, 1, and sometimes they're worth bonus points, and I'll explain that in a second. But also tiles will have a special ability at the bottom occasionally. For example, this says move a tile of a different color from this camp to another camp. So when I put this tile in this camp, let's say this tile is here and this tile is here, and I place this one here, I then must immediately follow the instructions and put this in someone else's camp, which might have another reaction, and we keep going until all the reactions are done. This one, when it comes, it brings the tile from another camp. So when this goes, it brings the tile from another camp. And so as you're putting these tiles down, they'll have different reactions. You'll notice that these colorless tiles have no symbols, and that means they can be placed anywhere. And each of these colors is considered a vibe. Like the green vibe is the hippies, and the black vibe is the goths, and the red vibe is the fun-loving people, and so on and so forth. And each of these vibes, there is the same kind of type for each of the colors. For example, here is the babe, and you can see different babes in all 4 colors. Now, they all have the exact same thing. They're just one of each color. Now, this matters to some degree because what you are trying to do is you are trying to get one of each color in your display in front of you, in your camp. You want to have a multicolored camp. Now, these are not matching, but if I got this here and I said, am I finished? And the answer here is no, because to win the game, you need in each space, you need one of all 4 colors. Do I have that? Black, green, red, and blue. Yes, I have all 4 colors. And I have a colorless tile, so I need that to win the game. But then each tile must be different. And since here I have 2 the players, then this is not going to work. I would need completely different ones. I also have 2 bars. And so it doesn't work. So for me to win the game, if you ever have 9 different tiles and one of every color in your display, you win. When someone's display is finished, the game is over. And again, if they have that, they win. Otherwise, you take points equal to your strongest vibe. So here, green would be my strongest vibe. There's 4 green tiles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 6, minus 1. So 5, minus your second one. Blue and red tie for second, so minus 2. So I have 6 minus 2, so my final score is 4. And whoever has the highest score is the winner of the game. So if the first person to get a whole different camp with different colors wins, otherwise you take your strongest color, subtract your second strongest color, and that's your points. Most points wins. The game is very simple because you're just taking a tile, putting it in your camp, which might let you take multiple tiles, or you might just take one and your turn's over. The game is really too boring, I think, with 6 players because it takes a long time before your turn comes. There's complete no control of what's going on. Your camp will look completely different because people, if you ever get ahead a little bit, people will take your tiles. So it's probably best with 4. This game I would describe as a tile-laying munchkin style game. There's going to be humor here. In fact, the humor here, there's drinking and alcohol and all that, you know, it's a very adult style theme, and yet the gameplay is one that will appeal to children, although I'm not necessarily sure should be telling children whoever drinks the most is the winner. So, but it is very, very, very a light game in that regard. It's not terrible. I did not enjoy playing it, putting the tiles down, but at the same time, there's just so much going on all the time. The artwork is very well done, and there's some neat concepts of putting the tiles down, matching them, although that's been done in many other games too. So there's nothing really groundbreaking or new here, but at the same time, I could see such a game re-themed selling really well in America because people would laugh at it. But this is definitely a game that you play because of the theme, if you like that sort of theme, rather than mechanics. Mechanics aren't horrible, but like I said, it's on the same level as Munchkin, and you're going to be playing this game for its humor and the pictures and so on and so forth. And look, aha, I put the vomiting guy next to your babe, and then the babe ran away, and all that stuff. So, take it as you will. If you like, you know, if this theme interests you, maybe you'll pick up a copy of it. Otherwise, you're probably best letting it just go.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.